Hey guys, welcome to episode number 351. Today is Monday, so it's Update Monday, and I thought I'd take a quick spin around the fish room so you can see what's going on, what will be going on, and all that fun stuff. We've got a giant mess here to clean up. All this stuff either needs to get sold, thrown away, or put back on this shelf. As I said in my past video, all that dirt needs to go outside. Just waiting for the weather to clear on that. These are my center drain aquarium tests. If you recall in a past video, I talked a little bit about these. I think I might actually set these up outside and test that out. So these are empty. Again, waiting to go outside. We've got step ladders and buckets and barrels and all kinds of crap all over the place, which all needs to be cleaned up. The fish room is an absolute disaster zone, but it will all get done eventually. The 30-gallon breeder is sitting over there ready to go. The 125-gallon tank is going to Mike's house as soon as he'll come and pick it up. And other than that, we've got the crayfish still over here on the floor. I built little crayfish prisons for them in hopes that they would behave themselves, but as you can see, a lot of them have escaped and they are roaming around. A few of them did die off, and I think what happened was the giant sack that they came in basically crushed them. Like, they crushed under their own weight in that sack, and so there are some that have basically cracks or fractures in their carapaces, and after a week or two those crayfish just sort of succumb to infection. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. Hopefully one or two of them survive, and I can get them to cooperate with me. I did pick up a beta. I don't usually do this, but I was in my local fish store and I saw this little guy and he looked pretty cool. So I did pick up a beta. He is in basically a 1-gallon round container here temporarily. I think I am going to bring him to work eventually, but he's just in here with a piece of Malaysian driftwood and a bunch of moss balls at the moment, and he's chilling out. He's got some nice coloration. He's got the red, white, and blue going on, so I snagged him, and he's got very bright blue eyes. I thought that was really cool. So I did pick him up. He's building a little bit of a bubble nest here, so that's always a good sign. And yeah, hopefully I can bring him to work, set that up a little bit more permanently, and hopefully he will do well. Not a whole lot more going on in here. The Oscar is chilling out here all by himself. He's doing okay. He's got a huge appetite, but you do see on the top of his head he's got sort of a wound right in between his eyeballs, and he doesn't like to show it to you. But I think what happened was he jumped and caught himself on the lip of the tank somehow. I'm not exactly sure where, but I think he jumped at some point and he basically dug a little divot into the middle of his forehead. So hopefully he recovers from that. But he doesn't like it when I stand next to the tank. He just like freaks out and plays dead, which I think is kind of funny. But he's doing alright for now. The angels, I do really want to get them to breed. They have laid eggs a few times. As I've said in the past, I just haven't had the time to care for those eggs, and the parents don't seem like they're doing a swell job at caring for the babies themselves. So that's a future project, but they're doing well. They're big and fat and happy, as you can tell. They're not camera shy whatsoever. the kings of this tank. So they're looking really good. And down here, I just did a little test. I had a 2-liter bottle kicking around, and this is K1 micro media in there, and I just made a little bottle filter, moving bed bottle filter for the inside of this tank. It doesn't really need it because I've got 50 liters of this stuff in my central sump system, but I just wanted to test it out and see how it would do. Test out different amounts of media inside that, and it seems like for a 2-liter bottle, 500 milliliters seems like a good amount of media to keep that media moving and flowing around on the inside of that bottle. So anyways, that's a little test I have going on. A lot of my lids are off the tanks, and they're actually sitting over there. I've got to clean those off. But I think what I'm going to do is very shortly head up to New Hampshire or Vermont, I don't know which, to pick up some twin wall poly. Can't get it around here for some reason. It's kind of strange, but it's used for making greenhouses, and I'm considering switching over to that for lids for these tanks. But like I said, it's a little bit of a trek, so I haven't gotten around to that. But it's something I'm definitely planning on doing here shortly. And the last little thing I have going on here, which has sort of changed my life a little bit, is I did pick up the Python hook. It's a relatively new product from Python, and it's pretty cool. You can just take off your typical gravel vac head that you normally have on a Python, and you swap on this right here. It just screws right on, and then you can just set that on the inside of your aquarium when you're doing your water change and you're refilling your tank. In my case, sometimes what I do is I do have a drip line going in here 24 hours a day, but sometimes when I'm doing big water changes in my aquarium system, I want to refill this barrel so that it doesn't completely empty, because there is a pump in the bottom of there and I don't want it to run dry. So sometimes I will turn this on and top off this barrel. So that's been pretty cool. I like how it just sits on the limb of the rim rather of whatever you have. It fits nicely on that barrel. It also fits nicely on any standard aquarium, and you can see it's got quite a bit of room there, so even an acrylic tank it would probably work well on. And it's heavy enough that it stays put. Like it can't slip off. There's no real way for it to slip off. Even if you were to tug on the line a little bit, it's got enough of a lip on the inside that it's just going to ride on the inside of your tank. So that's been a very handy tool to have down here in the fish room, and I'm loving it. I'm loving life. And the weather is supposed to warm up here shortly, so I've been told. So I'm hoping to get rid of a whole bunch of this clutter down here, throw a bunch of stuff out, move some stuff outdoors, and hopefully get this fish room in better shape than it is currently. One last thing that I'll share, you will definitely see this in a future video. I have a couple brackets, like wall brackets. You kind of attach these to these, and then you can put a little shelf on it. I'm planning on installing a test, and I think what I'm going to do is use my 30-gallon breeder. I'll probably build a small stand similar to the construction of this and put it against this wall, so the 30-gallon breeder is sort of the same height as this aquarium here. And then directly above it, I'm going to put these brackets, these wall-mounted brackets, and from there I'm going to do a little bit of a test to see if I can build a breeding box system. Some people call them beta barracks, but if you're just using them more generally for breeding purposes, I'm basically retiring these Marina hang-on boxes from the sides of my aquariums because I'm planning on upgrading to the twin wall poly. I don't want to cut a bunch of holes in that twin wall poly to accommodate these. So what I'm planning on doing is taking these and setting them up on a rack, one by one by one, and having them all feed down and spill down into the 30-gallon basically sump, which will be positioned somewhere around here. But again, before I can do that, I need to drain this whole thing down and shift it over about a foot. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to move the barrels back behind and do all the other jazz I've been talking about. So there's quite a bit of shifting around, quite a bit of cleaning up to do down here. And hopefully within the next few weeks, all of that will be done. You will see plenty of videos on it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, one more thing. I know a few people have been wondering and asking what the endlers look like that were in the 300-gallon stock tank over here. A few years ago I just threw a handful of endlers in there just to see how they would do, and this is the result. If you can see, they look quite a bit like the red black bar endlers. There's a few in there that need to be culled out. That's because they've just been in there for a few generations without me really looking at them. But all in all, they're pretty healthy. They were a little underweight when I pulled them out of the stock tank, and that's probably because they were just reproducing so fast. They weren't necessarily getting fed the way they should, but in these aquariums they're a little bit easier to monitor, and you can definitely see they've got quite a bit of color. So I'll try to get these guys back into shape, cull a few of them out, and see what kind of colors we can get. And I might even do a little bit of selective breeding in this breeding rack system if I can ever get that set up on that wall. So anyways guys, that's what's going on. That's the tour of the fish room for the day and all of the projects that are going on. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.